Musée des Arts Forains is a Funfair museum in Paris, France, and I think it's one of the most underrated attractions in the area if you're into amusement parks. I came across this museum while researching touristy things to do in the city, and I'm glad I did. It was one of the highlights of our Paris trip, and I'll explain why in this review. This museum opened back in 1996 in a former wine warehouse. While the public can visit, it is by reservation only. You need to book a guided tour in advance online. Dates and times wildly vary by season, so check the website in advance for availability. If you're an English speaker such as myself, tours in English are offered, but they are far less plentiful than those in French. So if you need an English tour, you definitely want to book these in advance if you're interested in visiting. Prices are very reasonable. The guided tours cost roughly €20 per person. The tours last roughly 1.5 hours, and this is no ordinary museum. There are games and rides you'll get an opportunity to experience while visiting. From the outside, you would not be able to tell there are amusement rides on the inside. It is a big brick and stone facade with some smiling faces. If you have a tour, you check in at the gate and are admitted into the museum. It feels like you're in a dream between the fanciful colors and historical nature of everything inside, and everything is in pristine condition. The tour guide was excellent. She was clear and informative. She provided an overview of the history of French fairs and also the specific attractions we encountered. She also gave everyone a few minutes in each room to explore and take photos after giving her spiel. Now I'll run through what you can experience on the tour. The first area is a large courtyard. You have these brick and stone buildings covered in ivy. Then there are some more busts in the windows and a few figures. But what caught everyone's eye is the first ride. There is a roundabout off to the side with a mix of vehicles and animals. This is not one of the 3 rideable attractions, those come a bit later. Once you head indoors, you have this old carousel, and it is the first ride you get to experience. This one does not have horses that raise and lower. You just have a mix of small animals and benches bolted to the floor. It has enough seats available to accommodate everyone on the tour, and it is first come, first served which seat you get. It was a simple ride, but the whimsical music and indoor lighting made it pleasant. The next room features a series of simple animatronics on balconies. They have very limited movement, but it is impressive when you consider their age. They perform an opera. It starts off slow, but the finale is loud and energetic. The next 2 rooms feature a series of statues from old fairs. The detail and scale of each figure is impressive. You also come face to face with a historic band organ. The next room features 2 things for you to experience: a rollerball game and a carousel. However, neither attraction has enough capacity to accommodate every single person on the tour at once, so you need to take turns. But it is done in the honor system, and we had some issues with a few greedy families. 3 rounds of rollerball were played, and there were 2 families who did not get up once. Everyone else was only able to play once. A similar occurrence occurred on the carousel when the same 2 families also did not get up and give others an opportunity to ride the more specialized vehicles. If you've never played rollerball, it is a game that can still be found at several theme parks. Basically, you roll a ball down a ramp into a series of holes that cause your character to move forwards. The game is a fun and addictive race. Then the carousel in here is pretty akin to what you'd find today. It is mostly comprised of horses, some of which raise and lower, some are static, but the ride also featured these unique rocking boats. What I liked best was the presentation though. It felt like nighttime in there, so the carousel's lights really shined, and the organ was loud and vibrant. This room also had a few other non-playable games on the sides. And I also saw a rare swing ride I've previously encountered on the German fairground. The next room features the final ride, and easily the best one, the Velocicpede Carousel. This feels more like a derby racer style ride than a traditional carousel. It is a genuine thrill ride. Guests sit on bicycles and manually work together to pedal the ride, and you can go shockingly fast. This ride reportedly has a top speed of 37 miles per hour or 60 kilometers per hour. That is faster than rides like the Yankee Cannonball. If everyone pedals hard, you can actually get some freaky laterals in this thing since there are no restraints. This room also features some Disney characters on the side stylized as carousel horses, which was neat to see. The next room was another one with a series of large detailed statues. Then the final room is essentially a ballroom as you have some grand organs pumping in some beautiful music. The tour guide encouraged everyone to dance, and several people took advantage of that. So, do I recommend this museum? If you're a fan of the history of amusement parks and fairs, absolutely. This really feels like you've stepped back in time seeing all the retro rides and attractions. The tour guide was excellent, and everything is so well taken care of between the visuals and music. Then getting to actually ride a few things is icing on the cake. This was probably my personal favorite museum in all of Paris simply because of how engaged I was in the content, and my wife, who isn't nearly as big of an amusement park nerd as me, loved it as well. Anyone can appreciate how gorgeous this place is. If you do plan to visit, the museum was easily accessible from Paris's metro network. There are a few different lines just a short walk from the museum. So those are my thoughts on Musée des Arts Forains. What are your thoughts about this place? Have you been there? Let me know down in the comments. And sorry if I butchered any of the French names, I know no French at all. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.